Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game podcast. I'm Lucas, and I'm here with...
It's Bulbasaur hat again.
I hate this. I don't know why
I've
this guy keeps
changed
appearing.
hats!
No, you haven't. That's the same hat.
No, I was Magikarp hat last time.
Oh, the Bulbasaur hat. Yeah, okay. Returning
back.
guest of the Bulbasaur hat. He's back.
So sick, dude.
What are we doing today, Bulbasaur hat?
Bulbasaur hat is declaring that we are talking about the European International Championships metagame coming up this weekend after Puerto Rico's over.
Yeah, real. Puerto Rico, currently happening
right
so
now.
We can't talk about that, sadly.
Right, meow?
Right, meow? Currently?
Yeah. Meow. Yeah, EUIC is happening next week. Big tournament. Me and Lucas are both going to be there.
I got in. I think I
did.
said this last week.
He locked in and got in.
Oh, that was clean.
That was clean. So yeah, we've both been testing for this tournament. Obviously, both of us are going. Metagame has switched up quite a bit from Surging Sparks. Kind of like a where's Drago angle? Since
real.
If you haven't been playing for the last couple weeks and you thought Drago was still the top deck, man. You are out of the loop, my friend. You are out of the loop. Drago is not the best deck anymore.
Real.
But Lucas,
why don't we
let's jump right into the tier list
Let's do it. Okay, so what do you think the best deck on this tier list is?
Ancient Box.
Yo, really?
Why is Tinglu on here? You made this.
I just put it on for some reason.
Bro, I think Tinglu was S tier.
We don't even have to. Oh, yo! We don't even have to rank it. Like, I think we just leave it there.
Well,
for
we're
the
just
entire
gonna leave it there. The Roaring Duns process is crazy too. I think there's a couple like top decks. So just for reference, we've seen online tournament data for about 3 weeks. We've had the Merida regionals, and we're gonna have
Merida.
Is it Merida? I don't know.
I have no idea. I
think it's Merida. I've heard other people say Merida.
Merida. Okay.
And also the Puerto Rico SPE will have happened. So we'll have a little bit of a metagame to base this off of. We have like the big win of a Miraidon in Merida, which kind of shook it up a little bit.
Real. So I think...
I saw you were doing there.
I think Miraidon... let's start with Miraidon. I think Miraidon's in an interesting point right now.
I think it's A tier.
I think it's in A tier.
Yeah.
It's the kind of deck that you just take one really bad matchup that's in the top of the meta, but you beat most of the other decks. Like your matchup's obviously really good. Your Gardevoir matchup's like pretty strong because they don't play Klefki anymore. And
no Klefki is swag.
No Klefki is so skibbity, dude.
I love skibbity.
Yeah. So you beat Gardevoir now. You beat Lugia, but you do lose to Dragapult. It's slightly unfavored, I would say. Miraidon can just race them off the board, but if Pult's able to set up, it's really hard for Miraidon to come back from that. You can just go like Phantom Dive, take 6 in 1 turn kind of situation, kind of deal.
So real. So real.
That rhymed.
Prophetic.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, you're spitting though. I think Miraidon's in a pretty good spot. I think you should be playing more than one switch cart right now. With all the Mawile and Gardevoir, and it's also very good against Dragapult. And if you're doing such, then you're definitely still beating Gardevoir, even if they're playing the Mawile tech. It helps against like Lugia with the sub block. Obviously,
helps
like
against like stall control. Gardevoir with Mawile.
So I think Miraidon, if you're playing the appropriate list, is in a pretty good spot. Obviously, a big old target on its back after its regional win.
And 4 were in Top Cut.
True, there was a lot of Dawn. But yeah, Dawn is just like always has been the premier aggressive deck since Surging Sparks dropped. It's just really consistent. It has Iron Hands on turn 1, has one-shot potential. There's no real reason to play a different aggro deck.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think like it's the best. It's by far and away the best one into 2 prize decks. I can feel my first yawn coming in.
Turn on the camera. Lucas starts yawning.
Okay,
Apparently he got roasted at League today.
I did. No, I'm not at League. A couple days ago, they were like, "Why do you yawn so much on the pod?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know, man." It's because of these warm lights. He like puts on these warm lights, which look better. They look better, but they make me eepy.
We've been playing around with the lighting. If you have any comments, tips, tricks, suggestions about video lighting, hit us up in the comments section down below. We would love to hear you out.
That's a sick plug.
Real. I would love to have some lighting advice, but
yeah.
I think Miraidon's in a pretty good spot.
I think Miraidon's pretty good.
Obviously, gonna be teched against maybe some more Archaladon. Will be seen.
Let's talk about that then.
Let's talk about Archaladon.
Yeah. I think Archaladon is like top of B, bottom of A.
I don't think it's ever an A, but I can get behind top of B. Archaladon's just kind of like
a deck. If you play like
220,
it's like
220.
I think it's 50-50 in a
220.
I think it's 50-50 in a...
Sorry. 220.
I think it's 50-50 in a Pult. I think your Miraidon matchup's pretty good. Your Gardevoir matchup is... It's alright if you play a bunch of jamming towers. Lugia matchup you get a little bit
really
okay.
a tool deck anymore. Remember, there's no more Drifloon.
Yeah, I still think it's probably slightly unfavored into Guardy. There is definitely Drifloon. I don't know what he's yapping about.
Like, none of the Merida, like, top Guardy lists play Drifloon. Not even kidding.
Damn. I'm behind.
But still, they play Heroescape, so it's still good against
like
Heroescape.
I saw the Guardy list. I just assumed that they were
Nope.
playing Drifloon.
No Drifloon. But anyways.
Yeah, I saw that Cape was in there.
Archaludon's pretty, like, linear, but it has a lot of HP.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's a bad pick. Like, if you're playing Archaludon and you're confident with it, like, all power to you.
Dialga also was not that popular
I think
Merida.
we should put this on bottom of A.
I don't think it's bottom of A. I think top of B is, like, super reasonable.
Why wouldn't it be top of B?
Because
Why
it's
wouldn't
not...
be
It
bottom of
loses
A?
the Pult, I would say. Like, a really good Pult player is probably going to be able to play around Archaludon.
I would agree with that.
Gardevoir also beating Archaludon. So if you're losing to, like... Well, I'd say more, like, even into Pult, but losing to Gardevoir. And, like, you're not that favored into Miraidon or Lugia either. So I don't really see a reason.
I think top of B is reasonable.
Yeah, I think top of B is very reasonable. Has a decent matchup spread. Can do what it does pretty consistently, but it doesn't do a whole lot. Just does 220.
Yeah.
220.
220.
220. 220. I want to put Dragapult.
Yeah, let's put that in S tier.
Big S tier.
I think it's by
Dragapult's
far and away the
BDIF.
best deck right now.
I think it's the best deck in the format by I think by a lot. I think this deck's broken.
That's understandable.
You remember when I said I didn't like Lance on the pod?
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
Not
Go
me.
beat that guy up.
Oh, damn.
I don't like that guy.
So I think Pult's
broken.
it's a pretty good deck. I think
Lance, Dragapult.
yeah, like I think you take a good Miraidon matchup. Your Archaludon matchup's like 50-50, you're slightly favored. Lugia is kind of questionable. It can be fine if you can just pop off, kill the Archeops, but Regigigas is pretty good.
I'm playing Temple, and it feels pretty reasonable.
Yeah, you're on. What are you on for this tournament right now?
Probably Dragapult Dustor.
I do like Dragapult Dustin.
Lucas loves Dragapult.
I do like
Lucas will
Dragapult.
probably be playing Dragapult for this tournament.
I don't know. I'm between a couple decks. Dragapult's it's definitely my second pick right now.
But yeah, it's pretty broken when you can go Curse Blast, Phantom Dive.
The reason I'm not saying what I'm playing is I am cooking for this event, so I apologize.
He's not leaking.
I do leak when I'm playing about it. I did say that I was playing Drago to San Antonio.
I think that the biggest level up for Dragapult here is just the Budew.
Budew,
You
you
just sit behind Budew, you use Dracloak, you set up like a couple Duskulls.
Dude, I love it when I can go Budew, and then I can go like Klops, Countcatcher, Iono. I'm just...
There's just so many lines. It's sick.
It's so good. I think it just takes like favored matchups or evens into most of the field.
Yeah, I think it just has the best
and every off meta deck is just a deck that beats Pult.
And I think Pult is like I'll put Guardy probably also in S tier. I think these are two I think these are just the two best decks.
I think it's top of A. I think there's a dramatic drop off between Pult and Guardy.
Maybe. I think that Dusknoir Dragapult is better than Guardy. I mean, we can put it in A for now.
I think it goes top of A.
A might get a little bloated though.
I don't care. Why does it matter? It's a bunch of A tier decks.
Because then what makes it A tier if everything's A tier?
Just a bunch of A tier.
It's not A for all. It's A for awesome deck.
That's like when you say, "Oh man, then getting a grade of A in school isn't that good if 10 other people get A's."
What are you yapping about?
That's the same thing.
Okay, fine. Gardevoir in A tier. I think Gardevoir is basically the same rough matchup as Dragapult Dusknoir. It's just, I think the more I play the Pult Guardy matchup, it's just favored for Pult.
I've been hearing some other things.
Ooh, what?
I've been hearing that if you're a really good Gardevoir player, it's like not that bad.
I haven't really played much against the Heroescape, so maybe, but I think most Dragapults are playing Vacuum now, so I don't know if that has much consequence. But yeah, just Pult plus Dusknoir plus Yawn. But Mikey Dory's broken.
My yawn,
I think
dude.
most, like a lot of the top Guardy lists are playing Triple Dory now, and then the Heroescape, so that can be quite problematic for Dragapult, but
That was euphoric, dude.
crazy work. I think Gardevoir, as it always has been, it's just a very, like, solid deck. A lot of lines into everything.
It's very hard to...
You can beat random stuff with it pretty easily.
Gardevoir is, like, good into a random field. It's very hard to stop Gardevoir once it, like, puts down a couple Curlias. It's pretty impossible. And there's not much you can do to make it so Gardevoir can't beat you. Like, it's pretty hard to tech for Guardy.
I could agree with that, you know? We're doing about Lugia, Lucas.
Put Lugia in A tier.
I
Maybe top B.
I think Luke is kind of bad.
I don't think it beats much. Like, I think you're probably...
think top of A is reasonable just based off of, like, popularity. Like, it's definitely meaningfully better than our Chaladon.
Yeah, probably mid-A.
I think it's
I agree
the
that
lowest
it's not.
A tier.
I agree that it's not a good meta call.
No, because what? So you're probably... I feel like you're slightly unfavored into Dragapult. The more I play that matchup, you just, like, get schlacked by turn 2, take out double chops. Or turn 3. And, like, it's not that reasonable to get double Archeops in the discard pile under Body Lock when you went first. It's pretty hard to do that unless you just have the Archeops in hand and can research it.
You're telling me you don't always have that?
Not,
dude. If you've tested a lot of Lugia, you just
true.
always
You just always have
double
it.
Archeops.
Always double Archeops, Ultra Ball angle every time. Real Lucas. But like
they heard me.
There's some pretty broken draws with Lugia, obviously. So you can beat everything, but it's just you're not favored.
Yeah, like if you draw super well, the deck's
Guardian,
gas. But there's not much skill expression in the deck, so like you can't really outplay someone. It's pretty rough. So if you're confident with a different deck for this tournament or something, I don't know. If you think that you are an above average player, I would not recommend you play Lugia. It's very hard to outskill people, and it doesn't show that you're a better player.
And, like, Miraidon, not a very good matchup. And Miraidon just won the regional, so.
Yeah, and there was 50% was in the top 8.
Real.
It's pretty gas.
I don't think the Miraidon matchup is, like, that atrocious for League. It's definitely unfavored, though.
Yeah, if they play double card, it's, like, so bad. If they play single card, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. What's next, Lucas?
Charizard.
Charizard, Pidgeot. Why is there 2 Charizards on here?
I don't know.
Charizard, Pidgeot.
I actually don't know. Let's just not rank the Charizard. I didn't look too closely at what we were at, like that. I just went to the Trainer Hill thing.
I think
and
this
then
is
clicked,
I think this deck is bad.
I think that deck is bad. I think Charizard in general is not very good. I'd put it in
like bottom of B, maybe.
Bottom of B tier.
I think it has like some reasons to exist. I know there's like the Dragapult Charizard that's been going around. I think that might have some more merit. But just like Zara just gets destroyed by Badu. Grantry is not a good card.
Yeah. Especially in Charizard.
Like if you play your Grantry down against like Guardy or Polt, and they're just like, okay,
sick.
I will use that. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Or free Guardy EX, or just free Curlia or free Dracloak. It's not a great feeling to just give Grantry handing out to everybody. And the whole power of Zard was like on first stamp, which I know there's like some stamp Zards out there, but Badu just destroys you, man. Like,
dude, Badu is so like when I was playing Polt, and I hit a Charizard. When I was playing Polt and I hit Charizard, I was just like, I cannot lose this game. There's no way.
I want to look at. I think the win rate for Zard into Dragapult on Limitless like online is like 40% or something. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's not good. I don't think the deck beats
and
Badu.
Like, if you are losing to Dragapult, I don't think you should play that deck.
I agree.
Because Dragapult is the gas.
I agree.
Ceruledge?
Dragapult's pretty good. Ceruledge, top C. I think it's a good deck.
I think Ceruledge is like the second best like beat stick deck. I feel like it's kind of like Miraidon in a way.
It's just a Badu deck. It's a Badu deck.
Yeah, you go second, you Badu, you go first, you get turn to attack. Ceruledge is just kind of like, I guess you have Palkia and Ninja if you want to get like a 2-prize turn. And there's not a lot of people playing Manaphy, so like I could see a reason to play Ceruledge. Quite like honestly, I could see a reason because I do think you could probably beat Miraidon a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah, you could beat Lugia. You can beat our Chaladon.
You can't really beat Dragapult or Guardy though.
Yeah.
So that's probably a sign it's a bad deck.
I would agree.
But I do think there's like a sort of reason. Like if you're playing Ceruledge, you go first, you get turn 2 Palk Ninja into like Dragapult or Guardy. There's a world where you win that game. There's also still very much a world where you lose that game. Mm-hmm. But
I would agree. Yeah,
I think
I think Guardy and Polt can come back from Grens pretty easily.
Yeah. So Raging Bolt Ogerpon. What happened to this deck? I think this is probably top of C. I think it's probably better than the Ceruledge.
Damn, that was a quick switch up.
What?
Second best beat stick deck.
Sure, I guess I did just say that, but I do think like Raging Bolt with like heavier switch cart is probably pretty good in a Dragapult.
I mean, let's just think about it. Like as Raging Bolt, you really aren't beating Lugia that
I just know there's still gonna be like in Merida, like the meta percentage for Raging Bolt was still like 6% or something. People just love playing Raging Bolt.
Hey, Pokemon catcher. Woohoo!
True. And I think that Bolt is like kind of maybe reasonable into Budu, not really even though.
It's like, I don't know. It's so hard to get everything off.
But you have just Burst Roar into Sada, like you'll just hit Sada.
But they will.
eventually.
Buddy still buys you a turn most of the time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which I think is the most important part of Buddy.
Fine, maybe I should stand on my business with the Cerulege above Raging Bolt.
I think Raging Bolt is way worse than the Guardy and way worse than the Bolt.
What do we want to put Drago?
Maybe not in a Bolt. Drago, let's go like... I actually don't know where to rate Drago. Probably top
I am so
C,
conflicted on
maybe
Drago.
B.
I think Drago is probably here.
It's definitely better than... It's worse than... It's better than Charizard?
I think so. I think that Drago, like...
I think you lose just as hard to Budu.
Not necessarily. Like, I've seen Drago lists with Crispin, like a one of Crispin, and then, like, Latios.
Yeah. I mean,
So
maybe.
you can play around Budu like that. They can't just trap your, like,
But
Drago
Drago does just lose to Guardy now. And Drago does just lose to Bolt now.
Not necessarily. Like, the problem is,
No, it
I
definitely
think,
does. Like, what?
I think the big problem is you can't cure him anymore because you just get Budu'd instantly.
Well, yeah, and that's like half the reason you beat Gardevoir. I mean, I don't know. Gardevoir is just going to be able to go like...
I think turn 2 Drago for Bolt is still really good. Like, the deck didn't just, like, stop being really good just because Budu got printed.
I think it did.
I don't think so. I think I wouldn't play Drago, but I don't think it's like
Sorry, I don't know what I just
Bad.
did to your laptop.
you're wilding out. I still think there will be a camp of players playing Drago.
The Drago camp, might you say?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable.
What about Camp Drago?
No, not Camp Drago.
Okay.
Goldango?
Camp Goldango?
I think it's like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think
it's
Goldango's
get
worse than
slapped
Cerulege.
by Budu though. Like you just go like Iono, Budu, Goldango mid game, and they've got like all their energy in the discard pile.
And they're like, no!
No! They're crying. And
Yeah.
shaking.
I think it's slightly worse than Cerulege. Togekiss is still broken.
Yep.
But like,
Goldango, honestly, most of the time is playing Palkia from what I've seen right now.
that's just worse than Cerulege.
I don't think so. It's like a trade-off. Like Cerulege has like a very much slower early game, but it has a much lower maintenance late game where you kind of get the opposite with Dango.
And I think late games are more important in this meta.
And also Cerulege is way better
Because
than Budu
all of the best...
Charcadet KOs Budu, and
Oh, real.
Cerulege just doesn't have to discard energy.
A lot of the best decks are incredibly good late game and will put you into weird spots. So having a good late game, I think, is pretty good right now.
Real.
That's Cerulege.
Cerulege is kind of the goat.
Cerulege.
Talk to Angie about Cerulege.
Yeah, that's my mom. Talk to
Angie loves Cerulege.
Will Gilbert.
Oh, how did he do at the league challenge today? Did he go 4-1?
I don't know. Did I just dox him?
I don't think so. Well, Will's fine. Snorlax stall, better than Pidgeot control. S tier.
Whoa! No. And that was way too. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to burst your eardrums. I didn't
Like this.
I didn't mean to yell that loud. I don't know why I'm stuttering
I think
so much.
Snorlax is kind of reasonable.
I think it's fine. I think it's a good deck.
I feel like you definitely probably
you don't beat Pult.
you lose to like any quality of Pult player. Like you might be able to beat like a really novice Pult player if they're just like slamming down all their stuff.
Yeah, and if they're like not using their Dusknors.
Maybe if you got like a really lucky like double candy Airy or something, you might have a chance. But even then, you can.
Yeah, but I mean, you do beat Lugia. You beat Miraidon. You beat Gardevoir.
How does Snorlax beat Lugia?
You should go like Sinnoh.
They're playing. Are we assuming they just play 4 Temple?
I mean, I think Snorlax has 3 temples. Still fine.
Yeah. We got the Dawnster loses to Snorlax most of the time.
Yeah, for sure. Gardevoir is like, it's like fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Snorlax stall, I think it's kind of the same as like.
Star Shallot on it for sure.
Yeah.
Because they just have like double turbo.
Maybe it's worse than Draco.
Palpad.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Block is just a good deck.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it there.
Pulthorns,
I don't think Pulthorns is a deck. Like, at
it's
all.
not a deck.
D-tier,
It's
bad,
D-tier.
garbage, poo-poo. Literally, you could play the S-tier deck, or you could play
Pulthorns.
Pulthorns.
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself? If you're playing Pulthorns right now, that's insane work.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about this deck.
Yeah,
It's
me
so
neither.
poo-poo.
Pidgeot control.
Lucas loves the Pidgeot
I
control.
do love Pidgeot control as a deck, but I mean, I think right now it's like B,
D-tier.
not D tier.
D-tier?
It's not D tier.
I'll put it above Pulthorns.
Oh, thank you.
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Pidgeot control?
Let's talk about Lost Box now.
Mid. control?
Mid-Geod
No,
control?
no. Where are we putting Pidgeot?
I think we should put it in B tier because I don't think it can. I don't think Pidgeot's the kind of deck. Yeah, it's definitely better than Snorlax control. No, it's definitely better than Snorlax doll. I will say I think Pidgeot's a better call for the event than Lugia. I think Pidgeot's like it's not bad.
I just think like you kind of have to when we're making this tier list. I think there's like an element of like, okay, yes, it's a good play, and also an element of like this will be like a 10% roughly deck. I think Lugia will be really heavily played.
Lugia will be a heavily played.
This will be a big day.
I think Pidgeot is. It's rough to put Pidgeot any higher than B tier, but Pidgeot's the kind of deck where if you're confident with it, send it, dude.
And your Skibbity,
and your
Rizzling,
Rizzling, then just send it because it's a good deck. And if you have ways to beat the meta, like honestly, you do you, King.
I love the broken Pidgeot control. It's so Skibbity. Lucas, what's next?
I agree. Let's talk about Lost Box.
Lost Box? Can we shout out somebody?
Yeah.
Who are we shouting out?
Omar Cortez.
Oh, he's in the finals. I don't know if he won or not. We haven't seen because we're recording the podcast right now. But bro is at least a finalist at the Puerto Rico SB with Lost Box. Playing a pretty like standard.
I think Lost Box is really strong.
Bottom of B?
I think it's like above Draco.
What?
Yeah.
So why, Lucas? Explain this to me. If you're losing to Draco.
Okay, so Lost Box, you take the L into Pulse, and you're supposed to just beat everything else. Your Pult matchup is fine. You can run them off the board. But Badu isn't as bad for the deck as first thought, because you can go like Compe, Colress, Cramorant.
Cramorant kills Badu pretty good.
It's definitely a lot less bad than everyone first thought it would be.
You do appreciate the drop in Drago, for sure.
Oh, yeah, no, 1,000%. Yeah, losing Drago was a bad matchup was definitely a huge buff for this deck.
Quite Skibbity.
Whoa! Yeah, I think Lost Box was definitely it definitely improved with Drago dipping in the meta share. And with this uptick in Lugia, Gardevoir, Miraidon, I mean they're all kind of the same decks as last format. They're good matchups for you. How does Lost Box beat Lugia? Iron Hands, Pikachu EX,
Pikachu EX. What? Ancient Box? Is this a deck?
No, I feel like we should talk more about Lost Box.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think just it's like if you were playing Lost Box to the event, I think you are in a decent spot for the meta. What do you think about Lost Box, Landon?
I just think you're probably losing to Dragapult, and like Gardevoir is like some people are playing Crest plus Triple Dory,
and they're playing Flutter, which can get rough. But you have to play Bundle. Triple Dory Crest is pretty.
They aren't playing Manaphy, but I honestly think that like early Greninja into Gardevoir as Lost Box is a trap because you're just gonna get Ionoed.
Yeah,
and then they can just like stuff you with Iono like the whole game.
I don't know. I mean, I trust,
especially if you're playing Fez in Lost Box.
I trust that Lost Box is decent into Gardevoir.
I think it's decent, but like literally, Triple Dory plus Crest.
Dude, I don't know how we beat it.
That's crazy.
It's crazy work, but I think it's fine. It's a strong deck.
I'm not saying it's not strong, but I do think that the Guardian matchup might be a little sus. They're playing Heroes.
Yeah, Heroes Cape is so bad, dude. It's so bad for the Lost Box. But I think Stamp's worse.
True. Turn 2 Stamp into Lost Box.
It's pretty gas. Yeah, Stamp Fluttermane was like really bad.
I think Lost Box has a reasonable enough matchup spread. It wouldn't be somewhere in like my wheelhouse. I think that it probably just gets slapped by a decent Dragapult draw.
Real. Okay, let's talk more about Ancient Box.
Ancient Box, bad.
I think Ancient Box is pretty bad, but I don't think it's D tier. I think it's bottom of C. You lose to Pulse.
Better than Raging Bolt?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Pretty mid. I do stand by
maybe it's
I don't think there's any reason. No, I'm putting this back. There's no reason to play Raging Bolt over Miraidon. There's like zero reason.
But there is reason about Ancient Box.
Yeah,
because it's a one price deck. You're pretty good in Miraidon. You're pretty good in Lugia.
No, you get
how?
Because they just put Lugia V-Star in the active. You usually have to like 2 to 3 shot that.
Oh wait, okay.
And then they have Legacy
no,
Star.
I recall. Yeah, when I used to play Ancient Box, that Lugia matchup is not very good if they just attack.
They
Lugia.
always bump your Pokestop.
Yeah,
you get cooked.
I recall that now.
You get cooked. Miraidon is a pretty good matchup. Guardy can be winnable.
Guardy's like,
especially though they've cut Stamp. Hero's Cape is way less bad for you.
My brain automatically thought of Hero's Cape.
Yeah, Archaludon's definitely a bad
unfair
matchup.
Stamp. But if
Pidgeot
they're
Control,
playing
Snorlax, free matchups. That's
true
a boast.
Petron. I mean, Pidgeot Control can be playing like Blood Moon, Lost City, but like
Okay,
that's
wait,
about
maybe
it.
I'm convincing myself that Ancient Box is kind of good right now. Because if you
don't beat Pult, you don't beat Guardy.
you can beat Guardy now. If they don't have Stamp,
Oh, I
plus
keep forgetting
CC,
that they're not playing Stamp.
So
yeah, that is way
Hero's Cape's
better
like a
for
dead A
Ancient Box.
spec. You beat Miraidon pretty convincingly. You lose to Lugia. You probably have a bad Pult matchup. You have to have a bad Pult matchup. There's no way. Never mind.
I think it's above Goldingo.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's like a reason I could see like a player that's like, all right, I'll dodge a move with Ancient Box and get like top 32 or something. I think that's reasonable.
I think it's fine. I think that's it's like a fine idea for the tournament.
That'd be an easy deck to play too.
That would be an easy deck. Like, yeah, if you're uncertain about things, night before the event, you're just like crashing out. Play either Lugia, Miraidon, or
The Ancient Box crash out is crazy.
Okay, let's go Cloth. I think Cloth
Top
is
of B.
in B. Yeah,
Top of
I don't
B.
think it's in top of B.
I think it is.
What?
Cloth is good. I think you have pretty reasonable Guardy, pretty reasonable Dragapult.
I don't know if you do. I think you lose both those matchups.
I don't think it's not anywhere near the same as previous format.
Being able to go like Buddy is
Badu,
pretty
KO,
good.
a like Dreepy, Dricloak, Ralts, any of the above. Going first, you just get a free prize. You can donk them pretty reasonably. Also, just like, this is a quick PSA to everyone at EUIC. If you are going second and you are starting with a sub 80 HP Pokemon, please bench a second one. I would hate to see
It depends on what your hand is. If it's like a terrible Pokemon, don't put it down.
I guess, yeah. If it's like Lumi. But if you have like two Dreepies in your opening hand,
Then bench them both.
put
Yeah.
them both down, bro. Because they're gonna flip over that Petronaut promo and you're like,
I just spent $1,100 on a flight. What did I do this for?
You'll make that exact noise I just made.
Yeah, you'll just sound like the zombies from Plants vs. Zombies.
Real. Yeah, that'll be brutal. But I think that like Badu plus Mochi is pretty powerful into these evolving decks. Obviously, like you're gonna be okay-ish into Miraidon. Lugia is not a great matchup though.
Yeah.
I think
your
Cloth-
Miraidon matchup's fine.
Cloth is just like
It's a good deck. I
Pretty
do
good
like
deck,
being
like-
able to Badu for like how
you
much
can
damage?
one shot
80?
stuff. Monkey Dory in Cloth is pretty good as well.
True. Play Monkey Door if you're playing Cloth.
Yeah, I think the one Monkey 2 Dark is pretty reasonable.
Being able to Badu for 2 turns and take 2 prizes off Badu? That's gas. That's broken.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable deck. It's also nice to like boast a pretty good control matchup. Played Petron as well, so
Yeah.
Lucas is crying.
I do love it when control's pretty good.
Mimikyu Ogrepon, who's playing this? Is this the thing?
I think it's a real deck. Cyrus Davis was on it for a little
B
bit.
tier?
No.
Bottom of C tier?
No. B's here.
S tier.
Oh!
No, I think it's
B
like,
tier. B tier.
I
B
can get
tier.
behind
B
this.
tier. B
There's no
tier.
way-
B tier.
There's no way it's better than either of these control decks.
It's there.
Nah, I think we got it.
The Cyrus Davis 60 is playing like 4 Iron Thorns. Multiple Mimikyus, Cornerstone. I don't know if it's playing Cornerstone.
4 Thorns is crazy work, bro.
They're playing Milotics. It's pretty gas.
That's crazy work.
Because then you beat Pult. It's like Pidgeot control, but instead of playing all of the Pidgeot control cards, you
just attack with
instead
bad
of
attacks?
instead of playing the Pidgeot control text, it's just like
140.
I'll play 4 Thorns instead.
140 damage. That sounds atrocious. I hate that. That's a terrible idea.
I think Thorns is
We're
fine.
playing Mimikyu Ogrepon to EUIC.
Let's go. We're gonna win. We're meta manipulating
Skibbity
right now.
Tinglu.
No, we're not rating these. I just put them on
These
the
are
list.
meme decks?
No, those are meme decks. They're just on the tier list. Okay, I think we should give our overview of the tier list.
Our overview?
Our overview.
Let's give some percentage callouts.
Yeah,
I feel like this
I think
has
that's a
been
good-
somewhat of a tradition when we did IC episodes. I think we did.
Yeah, I think it was as well. I think Polt's going to be like 15, 17%. Maybe the 13.
I think 13%.
Polt's going to be a lot of the a huge percentage field. And I think we've been undershooting recently. Whenever we predict that there's going to be a deck, there's way more of it than we think there is.
I think it'll be like 13% day 1 and like 22% day 2.
That's
I think it'll be like basically Drago.
maybe.
From the most recent Surging Sparks format or tournament, I think like it will be percentage.
I'll call 14.73% day 1.
Crazy work.
And I'll call 19.87% day 2.
Oh.
Not quite 20.
Guardy, I think it's 10%.
I think Gardevoir is 10. I don't know if Gardevoir is the second most played.
I think it is.
I think Lugia is the second most played. No, I think Miraidon's the second most played.
I don't think so. I think it goes.
I think a lot of the Lugia bots were like, I think I'm
Guardy,
going to play Miraidon.
Yeah, I think in that order.
I think it goes Dragapult, Miraidon, Guardy, Lugia.
Agree to disagree.
Nuh-uh. We need to.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Lucas is not happy right now.
I'm not. I'm
Crying,
malding. I'm cragging out.
Gardevoir. So I think I'm saying 13% Dragapult, 10% Gardevoir, 9% Dawn,
I'm saying like.
7% Lugia.
So I said like what? 14.37? 14.38?
That's what you said for Dragapult.
So that's for Dragapult. And I think Miraidon's going to be like 12%.
He's crashing out.
I think Miraidon's going to be 12 point.
12?
Maybe not 12.
That's a lot of Dawn.
We'll go 11. 11.72% Miraidon.
Do we really think?
I think Dawn's going to see a lot of play.
I honestly don't think there's a deck that really just beats Dawn. Other than just like straight up block.
Yeah, straight up block. What about
Dawn is really good.
What about gay up block?
What?
Not straight up block.
Bruh. The gay up block is crazy work. That's crazy.
Okay. So I think that there's going to be like 11% Miraidon. I think that Gardevoir is going to be close behind it with like 10%. I think the reason is a lot of the people that go to the event that just aren't confident in their skills are going to play like Miraidon, Lugia, something simple.
Chaladon, I think, is another deck that's like that for sure.
True. I think that's going to be a widely played deck. I think our Chaladon's going to be like 7.
Okay, I'm gonna just blurt out all my percentages right now, my rough ones. I think so. I'm going 13% Dragapult, 10% Guardy, 9% Miraidon, 7% Lugia, 5% Cloth, 4% Archaladon, 1% Control.
That's so low.
1% Snorlax.
That's so low for like everything.
I think the rest of it's like 1 to 2%.
What are the other 50% of decks?
Random piles.
The unknown V-Star? Like literally the stream.
Unknown V-Star.
Dude, I remember trying to cook with that when it first came out.
Did I?
No, Lily tried to cook with it.
That card is bad.
Confirmed bad.
3
We should play Arceus
coin
Unknown.
flips.
We should play Arceus Unknown, but instead of star birthing, you use the unknown.
So they're weak to Psychic?
Yeah.
As long as unknown V-Stars are still
Yeah, everything's unknown to be... wait, is it if unknown's in play?
I believe so.
That's terrible.
It's
Oh
so
my god. I thought it was just everything was weak to Psychic for the rest of the game. Damn, we tripping. It's cooked. Okay.
I spilled water. On my
Yeah, I
shirt.
think a lot of the people who aren't confident in their skills are going to play decks like Miraidon, decks like Archaladon. For some reason, I think people think Charizard is much more simple than it is. Some people will be playing Zard, some people will be playing Lugia.
Zard's, I think, a pretty hard deck.
It's a really hard deck, but people think it's easier to learn than it is.
It's easier than Dragapult.
I'd say so.
Dragapult. Yeah.
Okay. So I think if we combine all of those, like people who are who aren't confident in their play, I think we're going to be getting like 12% Miraidon. I think we're going to be getting like 8% Lugia. I think we're going to be getting like probably 5% Archaladon. We're probably going to be getting like 4% Zard, because 5% Zard I'll say, because people love their Charizard. And then I left out Gardevoir from that ranking. I think Gardevoir's going to be 10%. I think Cloth is going to be somewhere around the 6% range. I think it's going to be less than Archaladon. I think Snorlax, Stall, and Pidgeot Control are probably going to make up a combined 3 to 4% of the meta. Lost Box is going to be like 2% of the meta. People don't really like Lost Box.
I think like everything below Archaladon's like a 1 to 2% deck. I think that's a pretty reasonable statement.
Bolts, I'd say, is like
maybe 3%.
3% for Bolt, maybe 3% for Ceruledge.
He looked.
Yeah. I think that's a decent ranking for the lists.
That's all I got.
That's all I got too.
This is maybe our shortest episode.
This is by far and away our shortest episode.
I'm kind of into it though. Like, we can't really yap for that much longer.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk much about like the Gardevoir 60s. We didn't pull up Merida.
I don't think this is really worth like talking about like 60s and stuff though. I think this is just like our general vibes as people that have been playtesting for this format, observing metagame changes. This is pretty accurate to how I feel. I think just Dragapult's just my goat.
Yeah, I think Dragapult's like...
I love playing Dragapult.
Pult is so strong.
Fun. I just love sitting there like, itchy pollen. Dracloak. Itchy pollen, Dracloak. It's like a sick beat I can throw out. And then you just go like, Phantom Dive. Curse Blast, Phantom Dive, GG.
I think it's pretty
2
gas.
attacks is all you need most of the time. It's just the goat deck.
It's very strong. Very skibbity, might I add.
Me one Dragapult.
Yes.
Lucas, do you have any shoutouts for today?
I have The Lost Mine. I have my Twitch account, which I haven't streamed to in 2 weeks, which is pretty...
Yeah, me neither. I've been a busy guy.
I have not been that busy. I've been testing.
True. I feel like there's... I guess, like, Vancouver's coming up, but it's this format, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got what? You got your Twitter?
I got my Twitter, at Luke Solo. I got the Lost Mine Twitter, at Lost Mine, which is actually both of ours, so it's not my shout-out.
Real.
I have my Twitch account at Lucas
Double
Oldell.
shout-out.
And then I have...
Skibbity shout-out.
I have no other shout-outs.
Real.
What about you?
I would like to shout out our subscribe button, our like button, and our comment section. Hit those 3 things up if you want free cool points.
And ring the bell for notifications on our next
So
upload.
real. You will get plus 1,000 aura if you ring the bell.
No, we're not gonna. We are in the works of posting post-row content.
They're still in the editing chamber. Carson's the goat.
Carson's the goat. He's
getting those ones out.
been slaving away.
Yeah, real.
Yeah, we don't pay him.
We do pay him. I pay him. Skibbity.
Real.
Skibbity. I also coach on Medify. Please hit me up there. I've actually been quite busy with the coaching, which has been good. Lots of people are getting prepped for EUIC, which is good to hear, good to see. Love it.
Landon Caitler, he's the guy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've been really happy with my coaching recently. You know, I feel like I've been doing well for people. Marcus just got 11th place in Puerto Rico. Our goat, our close friend Marcus from the Barraza family did well.
We're just doxing everyone, dog.
We're not doxing them. We're shouting out people we enjoy company of.
Doxing.
I'm just shouting out people that I like.
We can't.
That's
we shouldn't
fire.
do that.
We can't just appreciate people.
No.
Dang. Officially, the Lost Mine Hater podcast is here.
We have no shout-outs.
Only hater vibes.
And
Let's
only
go.
things that make us money.
Real. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Good luck in EUIC. If you see us at EUIC,
Please say hi.
I would love a crispy high five from any of y'all. Even a sweet, nice dap would be cool.
Yo, daps are cool.
Maybe bring me a can of beans.
Kind of.
I was trying to say it in like a British accent, but it didn't work.
Can of beans.
I would love some British beans.
That's embarrassing. That was
Please
embarrassing.
bring me beans.
That's just Heinz beans, dude. They're basic.
I like beans.
You got sick of beans and toast when we were there last time.
I did. On the last couple of days, I was like, damn, this is slop. But it was pretty good for a little while. I do partake in some beans on toast, even here in Canada.
You should come hit up English diner with me. That's my one thing I need to do for this trip. I need to get like a full English breakfast at not a hotel.
Maybe.
I do like unlimited apple juice though.
The unlimited apple juice was fire. I feel like our hotel breakfast last year was actually pretty.
It was lit. There was like fruits. There was smoothies.
Different types of meats and eggs.
Yeah, like there was deli
some
meats.
artisanal breads.
Yeah.
Pastries.
Yeah.
Croissant. That was sick. Thank you so much for watching the Lost Mine podcast. We'll see y'all later.
Goodbye.